Magic Lantern sent me a message and got me thinking about some different interpretations and maybe adding in some info for you on comparing some of my interpretations of the video Auld Lang Syne and its connections to other videos and other times of my life. But Magic Lantern comes in here and he's like, "Hey, Mac, what an interesting film. The intercutting of your responses to an acquired web chat got the viewer going on one track, almost becoming a send-up or spoof once I caught on. And then at the end, a vulnerable and real revelation of feelings the likes of which you've never shared before on the cast. Assuming that wasn't a send-up too, I was really caught off guard and the film moved into an entirely different dimension. Thanks for that." When I watched this video, I was reminded of Sexual Confusion, and the statement it made not only about sexual identity, but more about the question, will I ever find myself in a situation with someone with whom I share mutual affection and attraction, and where I lose my inhibitions and feel safe and glad? In Auld Lang Syne, I wasn't sure if the chat with the woman was a real capture or a send-up. A send-up is an edited or composited simulation not meant as a spoof, but meant to create a reality to evoke a certain reaction from the viewing audience. If it wasn't actually real, I thought you might have inserted your video and responses, which look so different from the video quality of the girl's image, to create a cinematic continuity, a created conversation. The startling difference within Auld Lang Syne was in the final sequence when you have just spent 2 days with someone and had experienced something that moved you deeply. Reflecting on confusion, in this experience, you seem to have reached a new and vulnerable place within yourself that was both exciting and gratifying, and it hurt to think you might not experience it again. The 2-day experience did not appear to be connected with the chat sequences, but yet it was an experience on a deeper level that stood in strong contrast. In the chat, you were distanced by exchanging bytes of communication data over the interwebs. In the latter experience, with a friend, you exchanged something from your heart face to face, and it seemed to have revealed something to you that was both exciting and frightening. I think that's what made the piece so strong. I'm going to read some other shorter interpretations by people. Oh, I forgot to mention, I just got my YouTube channel back today. YouTube emailed me and was like, "Your record's cleared, dude. You have your YouTube channel back." So that. I went to go look at some of the comments under the video, and I liked X Widgets, who said, "The style of this is appropriate to the subject. A series of vignettes mimics the nature of long-term memory, moments lost in time." There was also Mausius. "The video isn't done loading yet, but I've watched the first 2 minutes or so, and it's really, really beautiful. It's a real live romance. It's a real live romance. What a handsome, handsome thing to have watched. Wow." Or if the beginning were in better quality, it would look like an art house romance. During the time I was making the video, I felt that the relationship which you saw at the beginning of the video was over. And the words to Auld Lang Syne, which weren't said, but the tune was played, was, "Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?" Personally, I saw that as part of the interpretation of the video. It seemed like the beginning of the video greatly overshadowed all of the rest of it, because pretty much every comment I got on the video was about the first 2 minutes. It felt like it. But the last bit was the viewer wouldn't see much. It wasn't too evocative, the video itself. But the backstory of it was, that was when I, for lack of better phrases, took a homeless man off the streets for a few days and fed him, and we had companionship. We made a deep connection. and then I left because I had to fly back home. I plan to save up as much as I can and purchase a new camcorder, which I will actually use for daily applications for making the cast and for something I call the cast interview series, where I interview what I call members of the intellectual underground, people that I think are total geniuses, but their ideas, existing power structures, and modern culture doesn't like them. And also, they're not the least bit famous, which means they have the time for me to interview them so I can get their ideas out there. You know, I'm broadcasting to people. I think they would love that. Do I live in Guam? Actually, I moved to North Carolina, and I am near something called the Research Triangle, and this is a place where there's I think somebody said there was the highest. This is common knowledge around here. I don't know if it's true, but we have the highest density of PhDs in the world in the Research Triangle. It's a triangle between Duke University, NC State, and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I did plan on going to Duke, but I realized it would cost me $88,000 after I was done in loans. So I decided to go with NC State, which would only cost about $26,000 in loans, and their undergraduate program academically was quite on par with Duke's undergraduate physics program.